This is Dan Lyons at the National Weather Service in Raleigh, and this is the Monday morning briefing covering the upcoming week, July 20th to the 26th. So thank you for joining us today. I do have a couple things to talk about. Let's start with the upcoming weather pattern first. Today, and really for a lot of this week, the main weather story here is going to be dangerously hot temperatures expected across the area. It was no walk in the park over the weekend. If you happen to be out and about, you knew it was just downright miserable outside, and that's going to continue to be the case for the good majority of the week. We're also going to be looking at afternoon showers and thunderstorms each day, but fortunately, widespread severe weather, flooding, none of that stuff is anticipated. We'll get into that in a little bit more detail here coming up. But as I had mentioned, it's brutally hot out there. Today, we have some counties along the I-95 corridor in particular, which are going to be, dangerously hot. And we've actually gone ahead and issued an excessive heat warning for those areas that you see on the map in pink. Other areas on the map from Raleigh, the Triangle area, west out toward the Triad, and south, kind of into the Sandhills area. It's still going to be hot. We're still going to be looking at dangerously high heat index values, 105 to 109, and we have heat advisories out in those areas. In all likelihood, this is going to be a common theme this week where you see heat advisories and or excessive heat warnings coming out every day. And I'm going to step through here and just kind of give you a feel for what we're looking at for afternoon heat index values every day this week. So here's a map of forecast values for later this afternoon. And you can see the values are easily into the triple digits everywhere on this map. And once you get up and along the I-95 corridor, you can see a number of 110, 111s. It's just brutal out there. And that's what we're expecting tomorrow as well, perhaps even more widespread. You start to see some of those 110 degree heat index values creep up into the Triangle. The Triad area has increased a bit as well. Let's fast forward to Wednesday. The values drop ever so slightly, but we're still in dangerous territory here. Let's fast forward to Thursday. We're still looking at triple digits area wide, and then we'll close out the work week here, still looking at widespread triple digit temperatures, heat index values across the area. So we're in the thick of it here. It is summer in North Carolina, and everybody knows that it can get hazy, hot, and humid. But this week in particular is going to be problematic. So if there's anything going on outdoors, take it easy. Try and avoid the heat of the day. We're going to be in this for a while. Also common this time of year, thunderstorm potential. We do have a marginal risk of severe weather for today, and we have it's mainly focused along the North Carolina Virginia border on Tuesday, and then some suggestions of maybe some severe weather up in the western, far northwest part of North Carolina on Wednesday. But the bottom line is there will be some showers and thunderstorms around each afternoon. The strongest of those storms will be capable of producing frequent lightning, gusty winds, brief heavy rain, but we're not expecting any sort of widespread severe weather, flooding, anything of that nature. Storms are going to be pretty hit and miss. Again, pretty typical for this time of year. We're not expecting really any organized severe weather, but that's not to say, if you happen to be underneath one of these stronger storms, you could get some pretty gusty winds and locally heavy rain. Let's take a look at accumulated precipitation for the next couple days. Looking at the 7-day total in the lower right, you might look at that and think to yourself, wow, that's a decent amount of rain. I see some blues on there and some purples and, 1.5 inches, maybe even some areas approaching 2 inches. Really, the bottom line here is some locally heavy rain will be possible at times this week, but it's really going to be hit or miss. It's your typical summertime weather pattern where showers pop up during the heat of the day, they dump quite a bit of rain, and then they fall apart shortly thereafter. So again, widespread flooding, nothing of that nature is anticipated from what we're looking at. And finally, 'tis the season for tropical weather. There are actually 3 areas of interest that the National Hurricane Center in Miami has identified for, potential storm development here over the course of the next 5 days. Fortunately for us in North Carolina, though, it doesn't look like any of these are going to be a direct threat to us at this point. There's 2 areas, approaching the Gulf of Mexico, and those areas are not going to affect us here in North Carolina. The third area that's still out over the Atlantic, that we will see what that storm evolves into. That is still a long way away from land, but at least in the short term, we're not looking at any sort of tropical threats or anything of that nature. So I just wanted to allude to that a little bit, since we are getting closer to that time of year when we start to see the tropics really heat up. So summarizing for the week, we are looking at a continued period of dangerously hot temperatures much of this week. Your heat index values each day are easily going to be into the triple digits, if not close to 110 plus degrees. So it's just not a good time to be outside if you don't have to be. It happens every year, but this is our week. This is going to be the worst we've had so far. You will see some afternoon showers and thunderstorms develop across central North Carolina each day, but widespread flooding, severe weather, nothing of that nature is anticipated in the forecast this week.